All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have some new footage for you. But before we even get into it, I need you to go to this channel and like this guy's video. It's a Spanish channel, and the whole commentary is in Spanish. So, as always, if it's someone else's content, I will not be sharing the audio. So you're obligated to go watch them if you want to get the full grasp. Because I don't want to be a piece of shit. So that said, this is the first beginning portion of NG4, most likely. So the thing I'm gonna say right now is that if you do not want to be spoiled on the cutscene context of the first couple of missions and the intro sequence, which is really important when it comes to just the setting, right? It's not big spoilery. It's not nothing they haven't discussed yet. But if you don't want to see, if you don't want to put an image to what they've discussed yet on the forums, I suggest you click away from this video. I will be putting a thumbnail with obvious spoiler warnings in it without actually having a spoiler in the thing. But the only thing you'll get out of this is this looks to be the starting screen, and I can promise you, if I can get into the breakdown right now, that this start screen will change once you beat the game. Uh, I'm guessing after you beat the game, the start screen is gonna look like the cover art for Ninja Gaiden 4. So yeah, maybe, but it just seems a little empty for how it looks right now. And it's again spoiler free because Ryu's not in there, so I'm guessing they're saving it for afterwards. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, when you start that game up, it's just Ryu on the tower. But once you beat it, it's the outro or the credit sequence where he's in the sword graveyard place. I forgot the name of it, but holding the Archfiend blade. So it's cool. But anyways, we're gonna get into it again. Last warning: if you don't want to be spoiled on the beginning sequence of Ninja Gaiden 4, look away right now. And for people that stuck around, I will not be going through the whole thing. I will most likely click away some things. The end portion of this is not that important, but watch me still go through the whole thing regardless of what I'm saying right now. But let's get into it. So, intro sequence. Again, everything's in Spanish. So, most likely, I mean, if you know Spanish, or I'm pretty sure this is Spanish. If this is Italian, I need to hit up some classes then. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Spanish because I can understand some of these uh, graphical and all that. Yeah. So graphic settings, you have uh, the visuals. That's the visual, and they have a 120 FPS mode. So if your monitor or your TV can support that, you can play in that mode. I'm sure that'll tank your FPS a little bit or your performance a little bit, like image quality and all that. But yeah, so they have three modes, just like Neo had it too. I don't know if they have like a fidelity where it gives you the best of both worlds as much as you can, but if you're into it, if you're into Night Ninja Gaiden for the combat, you're gonna go to FPS mode. It's just I don't even know at this point why they bother with image quality, but hey, the option's there. That's all I care about. Even though I'm not gonna use it, if the option's there for other people to enjoy, that's all I care about. So intro sequence, it's brilliance. It is a brilliant sequence for two reasons. You're in the back of a train, so already the setting here is no turning back. You just keep going forward. The only way is you just hold W, you just hold up on your D-pad or your analog, you just go forward. And they start you off, and very important, they start you off on the game in a sequence where there is no health bar, there's no items, there's no HUD. So this portion is teaching you what you're expecting to experience. So they throw three of the most basic enemies at you with the most basic of tutorial telling you like, hey, you can jump, you can dash, and square is your attack, and triangle is your heavy. And I'm pretty sure they haven't even gone to the heavy. And witnessing someone play this game on a casual level really shows you that the people that think this game is too easy, um, there's two reasons you might be saying that, right? You either have to admit that you just got to a point where you're actually really decent at video games, so average stuff doesn't seem hard to you, which is something people don't usually think about. It's like, hey, maybe I played video games for like 20 years. Maybe I'm just good at them, and other people are not that good. People don't accept that. It's like, hey, if you're worse than me, that means you're bad, and that the game is easy. It's like, no, brother. Like, there's this thing called improvement, and everybody can do it. And the other reason why I think the game is not easy is well, too easy. It's because the footage from the previous footage, from the Ryu one, the provided footage by the Team Ninja developers, um, that was being played by a developer, which is most likely being playing and working on this game for 7 years, right? If someone like that had to use items multiple times during their showcase to prevent them dying, and they've hit critical health multiple times, they messed up a lot of inputs multiple times. That means someone with that much experience is still struggling on normal mode. A developer is getting like he knew what it was doing, or she, I don't know. Um, they know what they were doing with the combat and the movement, and prioritizing the mechanics. They knew, so it's I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, developer was trash. It's like, no, they definitely know what they were doing, and they were still in danger on normal mode. So, and since we're on the spoiler subject, they have confirmed on an article, and there has been a leaked video that they took down long, long ago. Accessories are in the game, apparently. So, and they've specifically said accessories are something that are going to help you in Master Ninja. That's why it's locked, because you're supposed to equalize Master Ninja's difficulty with accessories. All I can hope for is for some like infinite Blood Raven mode or something like that. But anyways, sequence 2. If you guys didn't notice, they threw in 3 more of these guys, but one of them had the rocket launcher on their back, the missile launchers. So they're mixing it up. It's like, hey, usually you're gonna have 2 enemies to deal with, and maybe some range guys, and you deal with that. And now you hop over the thing in boxes, which say, okay, moving on to something else. So you're not fighting anymore. You're learning mechanics, which is, hey, dismembramiento, which is a delimbing and obliteration technique. They're teaching you how to do OTs. So when an enemy gets delimbed, or when they're bloody, apparently, because it does happen in this game. I saw one case of it, of an enemy not being delimbed, but they were bloody and they got OT'd. So yeah, a delimbed enemy, if you press heavy or triangle or Y, you insta kill them, and you get a whole bunch of points. And now, again, you climb the ladder, which is like, okay, next steps, third part of the tutorial. Charge your heavy attack, and you get ultimate techniques. And the reason why I say these are important is because if you guys remember good old Ninja Gaiden 2, they threw you in with the wolves with nothing. You jump in there with nothing. You just have to beat ass, and you might die multiple times. You might actually get decimated. You might not even pass that section. Right? It's like the game doesn't. You have to beat the first combat zone before you make it into the game. Before you even start getting skulls that give you tutorials on what to do, right? This game is like, okay, we're gonna give you infinite health, no HUD, so you don't have to worry about anything on your HUD. You're just paying attention to the enemies. And they're breaking it down. It's like, okay, you learn UTs, you learn OTs, you learn that there's range enemies. Now we're gonna teach you about this new mechanic. So for people that say the identity of the game is gone, I have newsflash for you. The first 3 things they prioritize is the identity of Ninja Gaiden. OTs, UTs, and the fact that you're always going to have some range piece of work in the back bothering you. Right? So, with those taken care of, you learn all of those. Now we're going to new mechanics. Blood Raven form. And now, just now, they give you the HUD. They give you one HUD. And I don't know if he's supposed to have the rapier from the get go. This might be a demo thing. And again, I'm very like convinced that this is going to be the demo publicly we're gonna get. That it's just Yakumo's first chapter. I will be really disappointed if that's the case, unless Ryu is an unlockable character. If you beat Yakumo's story with in Master Ninja. Again, speculations, but I really need Team Ninja to throw the fans a bone right now, because I think if people get their hands on the game, a lot of their opinions are gonna get just completely nulled out. It's gonna just cancel all the rage. It's cancel all the hate hype, and put a stop to that. As long as people can get their hands on Ryu in a demo. So again, They taught you about Blood Raven attacks, and now they're teaching you about, hey, remember you could charge stuff with your heavy? Guess what? You can charge your Blood Raven attacks if you hold the trigger and hold the buttons, which he does once, I think. But if you charge them, they become stronger in long range, and I think they have more interrupt in them, so massive range. The range is so big, it hits behind them. Look at this guy on the ground. It actually gets hit even though Yakumo's swinging forward because the hurt boxes are excellent in this game. I'm sure Vangil will prove me wrong, but let's be honest, that's what they do. Yeah, still no HUD here besides what you need to worry about, the things they've taught you so far. And now it's like, hey, you learn all those mechanics and dealt with normal enemies, so now we're gonna throw something new at you. It's a new enemy with new attacks you need to worry about. If you heard a honk, I apologize. I don't know what's going on outside. But yeah, it's like, hey, AoE attacks. These are again new mechanics. These are not Ninja Gaiden traditional mechanics. These are all new. So you get AoE of where attacks are coming. I wish Zidonia's had this shit, and that the fact that this enemy is much stronger, and if you want to interrupt that, you need to do your Blood Raven attacks, whether it's charge, normal, or whatever. And you can still OT stronger enemies. So these guys, the DDO command, it's not the DDO commander, that's the boss, but like the commander enemies are equivalent to your claw ninjas. It's like they're a tier above your basic enemies, but they're dangerous. Just because they're one tier above doesn't mean they're like slackers. They can mess you up. And again, no dialogue on either side. So if you want to hear the dialogue, switch to this guy's YouTube channel because that. But yeah, you enter the city. As soon as you deal with all that, you enter the city. Finally, the game gives you a visual. It's like, hey, this is where you're going to be spending most of your time. Presented by Koei Tecmo Games. Original concept by Team Ninja, of course. Developed by Platinum Games. Ninja Gaiden 4. Pretty good title screen. Yakumo looks a little pointed, but. And of course, you can't have a Ninja Gaiden game without helicopters or flying machines shooting shit at you. So, out the gate, you're getting bombarded. And you see how slow those missiles were? It's like they want you to actually fucking react to them besides, jumping around like a monkey. Looking at you, Ninja Gaiden 3. I think 2 was the only one that didn't have a helicopter, and I think that's why a lot of fans prefer 2. They don't even realize that that's why they like 2 more than any game. It's because of that. It's just no helicopters. You have to deal with it in that game. Worst you have, you go on the data list and shoot turrets. That's it. But there's no helicopter. Anyway, jokes aside, now they're teaching you actual like, hey, use your movement now. The jump in, all that stuff that you didn't have to, you were using for combat. Now use them for movement. And again, the Yakumo's voice actor, the English voice actor, excellent job going into the character, like immensely excellent, because he does a very good job of mimicking what the Japanese voice actor, which is would be considered the original, is intended. So sequence, he jumps off the thing after getting shot, and then the game says a couple of days earlier in Spanish. Pretty sure. Loading doesn't seem to be that bad considering 2 and 3's loadings are abysmal. So seeing how this game looks, and especially Ninja Gaiden 3's loading screen, oh my gosh, I hate those. Like I love the game because of the combat, but like pretty much everything else kind of falls apart on that game. It's dialogue. It's telling the audience about that Ryu managed to kill the dragon, the black dragon, but killing it wasn't enough because it came back and they have to seal it to actually maintain or to contain his power. And it's telling some backstory about why Yakuma needs to do this and all that. Um, and the thing is, fun and they hear Saori in the village. And one thing to pay attention to: the game is showing you all the areas you're going to be in. So, city skylines, container fields, village mountains. Could be some extremely shrine stuff going on here too. So because so Saori is right here. Again, different part of the city, a little bit deeper in, and there is a different aesthetic to the city as well because of the demon realm shift thing they do, which you saw in the other gameplay video I broke down, and the yokai realm. If you guys have watched Princess Mononoke, you would realize these guys, recognize these guys from that show or from that movie. But yeah, you have like skeleton arms like poking out like flowers, and then you have this place where I have no idea. This is probably the bottom of the catacombs. It's like the game is actually showcasing like we have multiple areas and like everything is pretty much dark. I really want daytime because I want to see how the boys look during daytime. But yeah, and Ryu is just on the rooftop oral farming. He definitely knows something's up, obviously. Otherwise, he wouldn't be. And now, if you guys have already spotted, there's a very controversial thing coming up. But since the game taught you about the main thing, which is the combat, and they eased you out of the combat with movements, now we're getting into movements. So again, they put you on a pretty linear pathway, and then you go, and here's it. Here's the thing people hate a lot: the yellow paint. The yellow paint. People dislike this thing, and I don't blame you. It's in every video game now. But if I can give a little context on why yellow paint has become a thing, is because if you're an old head, if you recall back in the day, uh, the best way you could tell something was interactable with it was that if they have a different texture, right? But nowadays, because every texture is very detailed, it's hard to tell what's interactable. So they always have to like shine a light on it or force your camera to look at it and stuff like that, right? The yellow paint actually is a double purpose. The yellow paint kind of helps you to visualize it because if you're colorblind to any extent, yellow is the one color that always stands out. As far as I know, not a doctor, evidently, but it also acts as a thing for people to not quit the game because they couldn't find a simple pathing. Because if you're, how many times have you seen people not explore a game? I am also guilty of this. Not explore a game because they didn't know where to go. I quit Onimusha Dawn of Dreams because I legit didn't know where to go. I was like 7 at the time, but still. I was playing DMC3 and finishing that game, but for some reason I got lost in Onimusha Dawn of Dreams. Like, all right, fuck this franchise forever. But anyways, so if you hate the yellow paint and if you make fun of people that rely on it, you're practically making fun of crippled people. It's like you see in a wheelchair and like, ha, idiot. It's like that's kind of mean. It's I would like if yellow paint was an option you could toggle on and off, so it's not there if you don't want it. So the game or the areas look a little bit more natural. I would love that because by all intents purposes, it is just an accessibility feature. Yellow paint is just an accessibility feature. That's not a option toggle. It's just in the game. It's a dynamic um accessibility feature, and it helps a lot of people to stay in the game, don't feel intimidated by it, like, oh my god, I'm so stupid, where do I go? It's like it helps those people out. For your average person, I say average, but like for your above average person, they don't care about yellow paint, they don't care about all these lights and all that. See, these flares, they don't matter. We know exactly where to go, we know how to find where we go. Insane texture pop in. Watch this shit. Boom, think. I don't know what's going on there, but they better flush that shit out before release. But even the player was like thing. But yeah, the game taught you everything. Enough about yellow paint. I already talked about it enough. The game is practically teaching you that hey, you can jump between walls, you can wall ride, you can climb. There's ladders. It's teaching you all your movement options. It's you can clear gaps with this, and like okay, did we learn enough about movements? All right, and the reason why the game is easy new into this is exactly this part. So they taught you combat, they taught you movements, And now, again, those two things, basic Ninja Gaiden things, right? And now we're going into a new mechanic, relatively new mechanic. I'm a three-headed, but that was just contextual. So, a new mechanic here, which is the stealth. It says all the instructions are here to stealth kill, right? But this is not any knock on the person, but this is a very good demonstration of why your average person just some things just go over their head. So in this case, instructions are clear, yet he's charging OT or UT in the back, and the enemy got, you know, alerted. So now he's in combat. So such a simple task easily failed because average player. Again, no knock on the person playing it. As I've said, I started playing DMC. I couldn't beat DMC3 back in 05 on normal. How old was I? I was like 7, 8 at the time, and easy mode's not selectable. Bet, and I still couldn't beat it. I think. No, never mind. Easy mode selectable, and I played 4. I waited till 4 came out before I went back to play 3 and finish it because I was getting my ass handed to me on mission 2 of DMC3. Granted, it was vanilla 2, vanilla DMC3, which the game's normal was on hard practically, but still, um, yeah, it's like just because people play on easy doesn't mean they're bad. They can improve. Look how far I've come. I mean, from your opinion, I still might be shit, but I think I've come a long way from playing on easy to casually jumping on DMD. What I do. So second try, he gets the assassination down. It's a unique animation this time. I don't think we've ever seen that in any of the showcases. So these assassination animations might actually be contextual. But yeah, it like the setting is now is more in his favor to stealth kill. And again, yellow paint. See, like he didn't know where to go, and he looked around. And was like, oh, like yellow paint. There we go. Because the textures are so detailed, you wouldn't be able to tell if there was something there telling you have to go this way. Like Far Cry has the ropes. If there is conveniently always a rope hanging from a ledge, that means you can climb it. There's a lot of rope wasted in that franchise. So the yellow paint is there just for the same purpose. It's not new, and it's been there. And I know people make fun of it and they hate it, but it's not there for you. It's there for people that struggle with this type of stuff. Keep an open mind. Just think, as I said, just think of it this way. If you want to make fun of yellow paint, just imagine you pointing at someone on a wheelchair, because that's exactly how it is. And environment changes now, right? So like you learn stealth skills, you learn combat, you learn movement now. And again, the demo, this is brilliant because now guess what they do? They throw you in a situation where you have to utilize all 3. And they start you off with the most recent one they taught you. Stealth kill. Use stealth kill to reduce the numbers to have easier fights. It's amazing. The way this is structured compared to the shit we had to deal with in 2, 3, and 1. It's like 1 had the best intro sequence when it comes to the easy new in, and even that was brutal for a new player, especially back then where gamers were just like not as good. And 2 was just like, hey, good luck, man. And 3 was like, we're gonna start you off on a stealth kill, and good luck, man. And this one in 4, they're actually giving you like a proper tutorial. Again, infinite health bar too, so you just don't have to worry about it. This is by all means just the intro sequence. And then a cutscene plays. And again, if you do not want to get spoiled on cutscenes, click away. I'll timestamp me. Well, I can't really timestamp, but like I'll just give you a heads up in the commentary all the time that if you need to skip away. But essentially, if I'm explaining it, so if you again, I'm gonna explain the story right now. So if you don't want to hear it, mute my video, click away, come back in like 6 minutes, right? So going into it, Yakumo originally came here to kill Saori. Why I don't know, but I'm sure she's explaining it. And Saori's telling him that, hey, the prophecy about the Black Dragon, the Dark Dragon, is that if you kill me, you will never be able to fulfill that prophecy. You're just going to be in this endless loop of suffering because of his remains. So Yakumo hesitated. Is like, okay, like I gotta think about this now. Is there a way to end this cycle completely so my clan and like the people of this city don't have to suffer anymore? Something around those lines. And if you look at Yakumo's body language, his reactions and everything, you can tell he's young. He's very, especially with the way his get up is too. He's very young. He's very brash. He's extremely cocky. And if I'm being honest, we went through this with a different protagonist for another beloved franchise. Same exact thing. Too emotional, too cocky, way too full of himself. Way too full of himself. And that was Nero. But Saori's giving a very long explanation of as to why uh that Yakumo it will be in Yakumo's best interest to help her free her so she can help him revive the Dark Dragon so they can finally kill him and put an end to this. My problem here is that if Ryu couldn't do it with all his might and the dragon sword, the true dragon sword, I might add, with the help of Momoji, most likely, Ayane, all those characters, all those OP characters that specialize in different fields. If he couldn't do it, there's not a chance in hell Yakumo is going to be able to do this. And if Saori was the key to that, then Ryu would have used her or asked for help. Because even though, like, if you pay attention to the environment, even though she is a captive, she is provided for with a lot of accommodations. Her room is very accommodated. There's books, there's drawers, there is a very soft, beautiful couch there. She is being taken care of. She's not a captive. They're protecting her. I'm guessing because she knows how to revive the dragon. They don't want her be fallen in people's hands, and the reason why I think they made her hands be cuffed is because she can probably do something with her hands that she's not supposed to. I know the jokes are there. Please refrain from being immature. I know I walked into a trap with that one. I apologize. But yeah, Shrine Maiden, right? So she can definitely spell cast and stuff. Do something to get out of here, maybe, or make things worse. Or she could be an extremely catastrophic character, and they're just holding her captive because if she was let to do what she wants to do, everybody would be in danger. And knowing how Ryu's clan usually is not to, be irrational with stuff like this, maybe that's why she's being accommodated for. Maybe they're studying her, trying to teach her, maybe, because all the books are there for a reason, right? It's not just read time, most likely. But yeah, my opinion, I don't trust her. I either think she's very misguided, or she's like Uwu Kawaii Elizabeth from 2. Like, she, in a seductive way, she's trying to, fool people. And because Yakumo is, also, she gives Yakumo this item, right? No idea what it is. No idea what it can do. But I'm sure it'll either be a Deus Ex at the end of the game, or, I don't know, some type of trap. And yeah, young boy, cute little girl gets in his face, he gets all flustered. Who would have thought? But yeah, again, the young boy aesthetic for Yakumo is to connect to younger audiences, right? Because we old heads, we hear Ninja Gaiden, and this will last for the end of time, no matter what they do with this franchise. You hear Ninja Gaiden, you associate Ninja Gaiden with Ryu, right? It's like, in my case, when I hear Devil, I don't even have to hear the May Cry part of it. I hear Devil, I think of Dante. I think of Virgil, right? I don't think of Nero. Ask any old head Ninja Gaiden fan, what do they think when they hear Ninja Gaiden? Ryu Hayabusa. So if people are worried about Yakumo being the poster boy, even if Team Ninja makes like 100 games with Yakumo in it as a pro tag, it'll always be Ryu that's the poster boy of this franchise. So don't gaslight yourself with like, oh yeah, Yakumo's a new poster. Like, he's not. He's never going to. No one is ever going to be. Ryu started it all. Ryu's always been there. Even in Yaiba, just couldn't play as them. It's just a boss fight. So yeah, and it's the same thing. Like, Capcom and Itsuna-san tried to push Nero because he does like Nero, and it is his character. Dante is Camille's character, not Itsuno. Even though Itsuno shaped Dante to be what he is with the help of Ruben, um, by all means, Dante is still Camille's character. That's why Itsuno's trying to push Nero because Nero is his creation. So, anyways, off track. This is after Yakumo jumps off the ship after he got blasted by the helicopters, right? So he jumps off and the game starts. So I ask him, is he okay? And of course he's okay because no fall damage. We bossing out here. Game starts, gives you the chapter notification, and you go straight into it. No small walking section, slow walking sections. They put enough. They put containers and like stuff around you so you can go explore. The game is telling you like, hey, it's not linear. You can actually go around and explore shit, which I will do, 100%. I will. If I see yellow paint, I'm avoiding it. If I see a pathway that's lit up, I'm avoiding it. I'm gonna go check out all the dark corners and the alleys and everything because I want to get all the items. I want to get all the collectibles. And there's a couple here you guys should take a mental note of if you want to be completionist when the game drops. Again, these are menu and there's items and all that stuff. Photo mode is in the game out the gate. Training mode is in the game. So, never have to worry about that. Day one photo mode available. And it looked like he had a lot of options too. Again, I wish he would cycle through them, but it's in Spanish anyway, so I wouldn't. But yeah, already there was a pathway to his left that he kind of ignored in the beginning area, but I don't know if I do like his sense of exploration, but very off. In open gates. And again, there was a section behind them, which I really hope they explored. Oh well. Now, you guys have seen these sequences at least 4 times this week alone, because we had 2 gameplay footage with Yakima going through it, and we had 2 with Ryu going through it. So, you have they're still easing you into movements. It's because it's not hand holding you anymore. If you fall, you die, so it's an endless pit. They're teaching you that there's consequences to not wall running correctly. But thankfully, even your average Joe can wall run correctly now because of the way they taught you already. And now it's like, hey, this is your vendor. You buy items, healing items here. You can spend your currency, and you can take mission objectives, as in side missions, bounties, and you can talk to the NPC. So when the options come up, I'll explain it. So objectives, I'm pretty sure that's very obvious what it is. Objectives. So these are essentially your main objectives, your side objectives, and the second one is your bounties. You can take bounties. Bounties is like kill 3 commanders, kill 30 normal ninjas. It's like those bounties are like that, and they give you money and items. I don't know if they can give you more stuff. I don't know, and maybe if you beat the game, you start the chapter, it's like, hey, no damage the chapter to unlock, I don't know, like this costume for Yakumo. That might be a thing, I don't know, but I hope it is, because I would really love unlockables to be a thing again. I miss that era where you just beat the game and unlock. You do stuff in the game to unlock stuff in the game. You don't just pull out your wallet left and right. Umi is your vendor dialogue pretty much. So she talks to you. It might be a little kid actually. I don't know. It might be a little boy. He has a very soft voice. I don't think we've heard him in English yet. So I'm gonna. It's a girl voice actor. So sue me. But I don't know if it's a little boy or a girl. But yeah, you have Saori talking to you. You have Tyron, which is your mentor, and he teaches you combat moves, and you can access training mode via him when he pops up in the game. And I'm pretty sure in the start screen as well. And Umi is your vendor that gives you healing items and stuff. It's not that open world. It's not that linear. So now, you get into illuminated area, right? Very lit up area, telling you to like, okay, this is going to be when you need to pay attention. And you can most likely stealth this because I think he can climb onto one of these platforms somehow. Or maybe he doesn't have his grapple yet. I actually do wonder. I don't think we've seen a grapple option yet, have we? Maybe something you unlock later. But yeah, first official combat in the game, you have your HUD, your full HUD. Well, not full. You're still missing the Berserk meter. Probably unlock that later. But yeah, the game starts the main like actual first mission off. First thing they do is teach you is like, hey, you have items and stuff. You can buy items and heal. And then they threw in a fight where your health bar finally appears for the first time. Technically for the first time. Now it's teaching you about essence. Like, hey, essence can occasionally, they're not guaranteed apparently. It says essence can occasionally drop from fallen enemies. And if you're new to Ninja Gaiden, you can utilize essence by doing faster ultimate techniques, which is where you hold your triangle. They insta charge one level every time you consume an essence. They can slightly heal you if you normally go close to them and they get absorbed by you. And those are the only two functions I know of. I am not sure if they give you currency. I think just killing enemies gives you the currency portion of it. So you can solely use essence as a healing method, so defensive, or as a UT method, which is the offensive method, which is something I really wish 3 would have utilized instead of what they did with it. But again, this game is, again, as I've said like 4 times by now, Ninja Gaiden 4 is taking the best aspect of all previous titles. So you have your accessories and stuff, which was one of the coolest parts about 1 is the way you could actually add extra stuff to yourself with the accessories. And the level design is kind of like that too. I would say level design is kind of closer to 2 right now, but we don't know what happens later in the game. And it has the story and atmosphere of Ninja Gaiden 2, which is the most enjoyable part of 2. The characters you get, the dialogues, the way you go traverse through things. It's like 2 is the best in that when it comes to all 3 games. And it has 3's combats, which, like, disagree with me if you want, you will be flat out wrong. But the characters in 3, all of them, feel amazing to play. Better than any other Ninja Gaiden. Everything else in that game, you can put it under question, but the combat in Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge is the best in the franchise. Unfortunately, the enemies are assholes, so they make it really hard for you to do what you want to do. But still, there is a method to learning how to abuse that and abuse it. So this game seems to do that less to you. This game makes it very obvious when enemies are going to block you and dodge you, so you actually can plan and react to it. 3 is kind of like rock, paper, scissors. Every time you press a button, they can block, they can dodge, and they can retaliate or just ignore it flat. It's like, yeah, you either hit, they either block it or dodge it. That's the rock, paper, scissors you have to deal with. This game is like, we're gonna reduce that by a lot. But on the other chance, they give enemies ability to block in the air when you launch them. So Izuna drops are not gonna be free. You take an enemy into the air, for all those people that cried being in the air, Ninja Gaiden is overpowered. Not only you have long range enemies that can attack you all the time, not only you have normal enemies that can lunge up in the air and mess your shit up, now you have enemies blocking your aerial combat. So, if you still think being in the air is overpowered in Ninja Gaiden 4, then simply don't go in the air. Rebathe. The option's there for you to not do something you don't like. Advise people to remember that when playing. The parry, I am very confused about how the parry works in this game. I don't think it's a button press. I legitimately think it is you tap the analog in the direction the attack is coming. So it's exactly like Ninja Gaiden Metal Gear Rising. Ninja Gaiden Rising would be correct. But yeah, I think it's exactly like Metal Gear Rising and Bayonetta. I hope I'm wrong. Because in a game like this, I mean, I know it's a very powerful mechanic, but with the stick drift on the PS5 and just the all the controllers in modern day, a directional blocking seems like a terrible idea. But anyways, Tyron, this is your mentor, and he is also a vendor, but he teaches you new skills. You can go to the training mode with him, and you can what was the other thing? You can equip techniques, I think, in talismans. Not sure about that last part. He kind of has a Power Ranger mask, the helmet. Huh. Again, yeah. Okay, so uh combat skills, combat techniques, and I think this is the Sala de uh I don't know. I don't know what that might be. But the three options that I know for sure is that you can train, you can buy skills, and you can talk to him. Those are the three options I'm sure of. And that's the Fatal Flash parry. The input for this, it says that you have to, press in the direction the enemy is attacking you from. So again, Metal Gear Rising, which sucks because I think someone asked me this question and I said no, it's gonna be on button press because that's what it looks like, and I reaffirmed them that it's not like that, and it turns out it is like that. It's based on the direction you put. Maybe there's different versions of blocking and perfect blocking. Because I'm not gonna lie, if it's on R1 or on if perfect blocking is on just the block button, that's gonna be insanely powerful because if you want to slide in Ninja Gaiden, you always block first, right? You tap those two buttons together. You tap the analog and R1 at the same time, or sorry, L1, and it's like, yeah, I guess that's powerful, very brain dead, but doesn't seem to be the case. And he goes to practice it here too, and you see the prompt pop up on the right side of the screen. The loading screen is it blows everything pretty fast. But this is the Fatal Flash practice. So Fatal Flash is after you perfectly block, you press triangle in the direction and you slash. Yeah. The reason why I think it's not the case, I don't think it's forward. I think if you want to do Fatal Flash, this is the input for it. Perfect Garden is still holding block button because he tries to block, right? He actually tries to block. So that means the input for blocking is still that. Yeah. But I think if you want to get Fatal Flash after perfectly blocking, you have to press forward and heavy in the direction your enemy is attacking you from to get the follow up for it. Which is going to be one of, if not the most important mechanic in the game, is because a Fatal Flash can actually insta delim. It hits multiple enemies, so that means you can, delim multiple enemies. And the fact that you can combine Fatal Flash with Blood Raven and Gleam moves, which makes it extremely powerful at that point. So once you get good at blocking, especially with bosses, just imagine the follow ups you can do every time a boss finishes or even starts a stream. You can absolutely decimate their health bar. So mastering the OGs are gonna have a lot of fun with this game because the OGs already know how to move in Ninja Gaiden. They already know how to utilize their Ninja Gaiden tools and mechanics, right? And on top of that, you are given this new mechanic, which is blocking and perfect blocking. It was a very, very, very needed um, breath of fresh air Ninja Gaiden needed because not only three butchered counters, like they are powerful, but they're so inconsistent. Like they do delim unless it's alchemist, but they are inconsistent because for some reason enemies can also dodge your parries sometimes, which is really weird. I don't know why they're allowed to do that, but again, that's the flaw of the coding of that game. So in this game, having the parry, I'm sure you still probably have your classic counter, although it wouldn't make sense to have it now, but I just hope it's there just for the sake of it being there. Parries um add the same result with a different approach. So you still get your parry delim, but the way you're doing it is different. And I think you do get active iframes when you initiate a perfect parry too, just like doing a normal counter. in OG Ninja Gaiden games. I don't know why I say OG because I said old because this is also a Ninja. So the older Ninja Gaidens, you press the block button, you get hit by a string that you can actually counter. You press square or triangle, and your counter move either delimbs them or launches them. Heavy or triangle or Y, whatever you want to call it, that launches, and square your light attack um, delimbs them. And you actually have multiple follow ups depending on what game and what weapon. But yeah, in one, pretty useful, very useful actually. In NG2, very powerful. NG3, very powerful, but also very inconsistent. So I'm glad they addressed that. I'm glad they addressed that with two mechanics now. So they probably made countering very consistent, or at least consistent enough. And oh yeah, I'm gonna cut that. This is so the correct path is the other way. This is a secret area he's going to, and it see the way it looks, the way it's like the way they're making you go there. Right? It's the game is kind of like leading you on to like, hey, you're probably not supposed to be here. So, and they, it's like, hey, you got to deal with this guy. And as soon as you get into the arena, it gives you like, hey, mission started. Now you're dealing with this is a secret mission. You're not supposed to deal with these guys on the normal. So you're dealing with the commander types. This is the one that has a sword. This is the one that has a gun. This is the one that has a dual shurikens. So three very strong enemies, and I think this is all their variants. The sword guy has projectiles and area attacks. The shuriken guy is relentless as how much he gets into your face. And the range guys are shooting you. But yeah, the shuriken guy is very fast. And he's up your booty all the time. And he's seeing how much this guy is dodging because you're just mashing against him. Yeah, you're supposed to pick your time. Ninja Gaiden has always been like that. You mash, the enemies will adapt to it, especially if they're high tier enemy. You have to pick your moment. You have to wait for them to get into recovery frames. You have to wait for them to whiff something. So again, as far as Ninja Gaiden's identity goes, still there. And by the way, people that say this game is easy, this guy already used two items. He's your average person. He's your average player. So, and again, normal mode. By the way, this is normal mode. You saw him pick normal mode at the start of the game. So yeah, the game is not easy. The game just might be too easy for you because you're used to it. Again, average gamers have gotten so much better because the games we play nowadays. A lot of people play Souls games, and those games teach you through brute force, which is trial and error. You died, so what? Try again, right? They don't let you stay in combat for too long, but they let you do the combat over and over again. So it's very arcadey in that sense. It's like old fashioned, because back in the day, you hit a spike with Mario, with Sonic, like you have to restart the level. You start from the scratch, right? Same concept with the Souls games. It's like you die, back to the bonfire, but come back here and fight them again till you learn the pattern, till you get better at the fight, right? And Ninja Gaiden is always been hard. It's been the OG impossible game before Souls game even started breathing air. Ninja Gaiden was like that one game was like, oh yeah, dude, this shit's hard, man. This shit is, and that turned a lot of people away from it. It's like, I don't want to struggle. I want to have fun. Your average person doesn't know how to challenge themselves, right? They just want to play something and relax. They don't, people that do their 9 to 5, people that have families and responsibilities, they don't want to sit there and die to the basic bitch enemy like all the fucking time, right? So that's why you have easy mode. That's why you have all these items to help you like auto dodge and auto block and do all this thing for you, so you can casually enjoy it. That's why we have hard mode. That's why we have Master Ninja for people that, hey, fuck responsibilities, fuck 9 to 5, fuck kids, fuck all that. I just want to play and beat ass, and the difficulty is there for you. And they've said, they on record on an interview, they have said that Master Ninja is so hard that you need to unlock talismans on your normal playthrough first, so you can equalize the playing field a little bit, right? So Platinum games already has like Platinum games' hardest difficulties are usually abysmal. They're pretty rough, right? And Team Ninja is known to make hard shit. Like Neo is hard unless you abuse mechanics. You know, again, Average shit. I'm talking as an average point of view, not some nerd that's grinded Neo and got perfect stat rolls and everything. I'm talking about you, bro. You sit down. Talk about your average Joe. It's hard. You get punished. You mash. You get destroyed because enemies armor your shit. You get annihilated. Same with Ninja Gaiden. Same concept. You mash. They dodge you and they fuck you up. You don't pay attention. You get messed up. Case in point. He's mashing. He's switching targets. He's not focusing long range. He's getting absolutely decimated. If you see someone shooting you in Ninja Gaiden from the back, he becomes your primary target. You will kill the range enemy first, and then you deal with the rest of them. He's not utilizing OTs. He's not utilizing UTs. It's a it's a mess, right? Like this is your average Joe playing. So it will make no sense for normal mode to be so brutal that your average person is gonna be like, "Hey, it's been a week and I'm still stuck on the first chapter." Imagine if a 30-year-old, right, is playing this game and they can't get past the first chapter because your no basic enemy two shots you. Like that's not fun. That's not even encouraging. Dedicated gamers will look at that and be like, I will fucking do this, right? There are people like that, but it's not everybody. It's not everybody's jam. So keep that in mind. Again, be open minded always. Do not look at stuff from your point of view. You gotta put your point of view aside and start looking at things from someone else's point of view. That's the only way to truly understand things happening around you. Because if you make your own like echo chamber and just list, you just consider only your own opinion and all that, the narrow mindedness actually hurts your perspective. I don't want to turn this into a TED talk, so I'm gonna move on from that. But again, I'm not gonna talk about DLC weapons, but there will be a different video right after this, after I eat some honey from my throat, talking about the weapon situation. Again, I said I don't want to do it, but apparently I have to do a fucking second video because people are just blowing shit out of proportion again. But that aside, back to the gameplay. And yeah, I think we're gonna get through this, boys. I think we're gonna get through this. I think I'm gonna eat my words on this, even though I said I'm not gonna do it. But just sit through it. Let's just get some dialogue out. But first mission's pretty long, eh? Right? Like, if I can say, it started around here. Yeah, he landed here, so that's 25-minute mark. And he fights the... Yeah. First mission for the average Joe, again, it took him 45 minutes, roughly, to get through. With menuing and all that, you take all that out, right? You shave 5 minutes off. But keep in mind, he does not tackle all the challenges. He does not explore all the pathways. He doesn't go through everything. So if one mission, especially your first mission, which are usually the shortest ones, Ninja Gaiden 2's first mission is the shortest one. Ninja Gaiden 3's first mission is the shortest one. Ninja Gaiden 1's first mission is the shortest one. If your first mission in NG4 is almost potentially 50 minutes long on a first playthrough, I'll be happy with the game. Because the one thing that actually worries me about this game, the weapons were never a worry of mine. It was a panic thing. I knew they were not gonna do it again. I'm just not happy with the way they did it with the DLC. But again, I don't want to talk about it too much. I wish they were just in there as an unlockable at the very least, if he didn't have it from day one, whatever. But if the game length was shorter than 5 hours, I would have been really pressed about this game. Because the price point on it is massive. Also, put in pause to that dialogue. The Purgatory. So, if you watched my previous video, I think it was Ryu. Ryu came here. He did this. He looked at that side, and I immediately went, "Dude, go there. There's probably items there. There has to be something behind that, right?" But because it's a dev plane, they were avoiding the secrets, so he just kept on going. So now we actually get to see what's on this side. I'm pretty sure you can make that jump with easy drop. Jesus, it's falling swallow. I'll test it when I experience my first death to fall damage. Yay. But yeah, these are Purgatory gates. Purgatorio. So the Purgatory gates, apparently they give you money and XP. I don't know what the XP is. I don't know what you utilize XP for. Because you already buy moves with the coins. So experience might be for weapon upgrades or something. I'm actually really curious to know what experience currency does. That could be just completely worthless too. That's also possible. But yeah, there's two currencies usually when you fight. It pops up at the bottom right here. Yeah, the Gordy's on the left. We saw this in the IGN video. So again, if you're watching this, keep a mental note of all these secrets, because yeah, the one thing I like doing in video games is to always avoid the right path. It's usually really hard for me in like RPG games because they're open world most of the time. So yeah, and yeah, the Gordia has a quick time event. I think the one in the first mission only has two. So I assume the quick time event for these guys gets harder as time goes on. Maybe the one on the final mission has like 6 prompts and you don't get extra time to press it, so you just have to just rapidly press everything. But yeah. Also, no, I was wrong. You do have your grappling hook from the start, so you might not be able to initiate the first fight with assassination kill from the ceiling. But yeah, explore your surroundings all the time. I usually tend to hug walls, so I can get a vantage point pretty much from my map circle, my sandbox, and then I pick paths. Pretty much what I'm going to do. So if you ever watch me stream a new game, you're going to see me hug walls a lot, which is going to get annoying as a viewer. But I'm trying to get all the secrets, man. I'm trying to get all the upgrades, trying to get everything. I don't know if the auto dodge and block is active because I just call me ignorant or arrogant, I should say. But I don't think this guy has it in him to do do the perfect blocks like he does. I'm sorry. It's just because of the way he plays, I'm not really confident. I was like, is he doing this on purpose or is it just accidental or is it just auto? Wow, like dark areas look really dark. Can he destroy these? Because these are just platforms for the most part. Yeah, I guess you can attack them. Strange. Doesn't do anything for the most part. They help you. So just like the old times, I say old times, just like Ninja Gaiden 3, your bird pops up, you talk to it, and then you save the game. But in this case, apparently Tyrant is just, a phone call away. So every time you talk to the crow, Tyrant just pops up out of nowhere, just aura farming. He's literally Piccolo energy. He even folds his arm like that too. This is Gohan and Piccolo pretty much. Tyrant is teaching Yakumo how to dodge. Now the game is teaching you is like, hey, you can utilize grapple with movement. And the next area, funny enough, teaches you how to use grapple in combat. Just watch this. He jumps down. There's at least three. There's the drone. There's a container he can grapple onto. And oh yeah, jumping off like ledges to assassinate is very graceful too. They give you a lot of time period to actually make the assassination happen. Drone fucks off, enemy spawn, and if you noticed, yeah, when you sprint, you deflect bullets automatically, just like Metal Gear Rising. There you go. Disclaimer: having mechanics from a different game doesn't make that game's identity superior either. By the way, just putting that out there. Just because there's aerial combat doesn't mean Ninja Gaiden has become DMC. Just because there's parrying and bullet deflection doesn't mean MG. Did it to myself. Doesn't mean Ninja Gaiden has become Metal Gear Rising. It like the core stuff are there. They just added some of the best features from some of the best hack and slashes into this game. So by all means, this becomes a more depth heavy product. I know some cases less is more, but again, I'm going to throw my favorite NG game onto the bus over this. Three was one of those cases where less was not more for that game. Less was definitely not more for that game. They had the two less weapons you had. Big Waste Kusarigama was practically just a carryover. It didn't even have a unique UT. And the steel on board was buggy as hell. Second best one, but it was buggy as hell to get it to work. But yeah, it's less is not always more. and Ninja Gaiden did need a shakeup, especially in the balance departments. Because yeah, shit tier bosses in all the games besides one, and even one has some very terrible bosses. Awaken Alma, RNG heavies that the mechanics don't work against them too much. Even if you know how to do it, you're still at the mercy of RNG most of the time. The game definitely needed, or the franchise definitely needed a shakeup in boss design and enemy design, and it got it. It got it in terms of not only the enemies are more consistent and more telegraphed, the player also has more tools to control the battlefield with, which is always good. I don't want this to have so much tool that it's like DMC tier of control over the battlefield. Because in DMC, it's like if you're good at that game, nothing is threatening it like at all ever. Like no boss, no enemy wave, nothing is threatening in DMC once you know what to do. Like everything is just they're just gonna die instantly. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't think NG will ever hit that spot, as in the fact that your character is gonna be so powerful that none of the enemies can do anything to you. Because I'm sure in Master Ninja you'll still get your shit pushed in. And yeah, look at that confirmation that in the first mission you don't have your second weapon, right? See the HUD they're showing you, it's like you only have a single weapon. But in the demo version you do have the rapier, which he refuses to switch to, by the way. This guy is under the impression that yeah, you know what? Fuck weapon switching. I'm playing OG Ninja Gaiden. I think he just forgot about it or it wasn't even an average person doesn't pay attention to their HUD. And now the game is introducing the final new mechanic, as far as I know, the Berserk meter. So the Berserk meter is your DT, practically, right? And when you use this thing, you can combine it with your Bloodbind attack to power your moves up. And every time you kill an enemy, it does that. And I think when you get those kills, it recovers your gauge. I lied, it doesn't. You go into a powered up state with everything you do. Oh, that's nice of them. So when you do OTs, the timer stops on that. That's very nice of them. I was really worried about OTs and UTs, clocking down on that, which would have been bad. It's saying how fast it drains. And we don't want to know what input that move is. That move looks freaking crazy. Look at this yoink. That might be a straight 60, but that's really cool. Yeah, I really want to know if there is different versions you can do of the Berserk's ultimate. There's the aerial or ground one, because the ground one you do it's just a white slash that decimates everything. I'm sure there's gonna be accessories to buff those. By the way, like you see the timer clock down pretty fast, but I'm sure they can keep it up. Also, the Berserk gauge for people that didn't watch my last video, Berserk gauge seems to drain over time if you're not in combat for too long. If you're not, even if you're in combat but not being aggressive, the bar goes down. The Berserk gauge is the purple one down here. This purple one. This one is the Bloodbind one. The purple one is the Berserk. So if you are not aggressive with this bar, it drains. You lose access to it. And I don't mind that that's a mechanic. I mind the fact that if you are in between combat, it drains. I think that's a little nonsensical, mainly due to the fact that if I'm not in combat, how am I gonna build it? So I think the way you transfer that from combat to combat is if you get it and max it out, you pretty much keep it till you pop it. But if you haven't built it all the way, it drains. So it's pretty much it's your hype meter. It's your adrenaline meter. Again, long range enemy on top, he has not been addressed. He's chilling there the whole time. Finally. Did you saw that hitbox? Did you saw the hitbox on that attack? Wow, that's insane. I think he does a bloodbind. No, he just does a running square and somehow look at this hitbox. It's good that you have big hitboxes and hurtboxes. Sorry, you have big hurtboxes on your swings. And it's always appreciated when enemies have perfect hurtboxes. So you don't get clipped when you're behind something. So I appreciate that. They've again done best of two worlds on that because I like enemies having precise hurtboxes so I can actually calculate it. And I like me having big hurt boxes because it's just one me and 40 of them, so I need to be able to compensate for that. And UTs are not being utilized even in the game. This was literally the fourth thing the game taught you when the game started. He has not done a UT like at all. He's doing OTs, which is good. Again, I just don't think like I don't know why people say the game's easy. It might be easy for you, my guy. You're just too good, bro. Congratulations, but like your average Joe is gonna struggle with this shit. I just hope people don't struggle so much that they start dropping the game like they did back in the day. Again, I'm guilty of it. I did explain it. Boink! First time using that move, finally. Berserk gauge, is it gonna pop the ultimate for once, or is it just gonna be? He's not even charging him, he's just swinging. Very unfortunate. Yeah, I think that's his 360. That shit looks cool. He just spins around like he just does a donut with his sword. Oh, fantastic. These guys have shurikens they throw at you in rapid succession. Another long range. These guys can launch at you in the air. They can block you while you're hitting them in the air. And now I discovered that they have a triple shuriken string, which can most likely hit you out of the air too. So there you go. More reason that aerial combat is not safe at all. The crow once again. Oh, they give you okay. So boss fight most likely is because they give you Tyron and Umi. So both your vendors are here. I think there's an item up here. There is something up there, man. Check the top of the container, please. Damn it. Yeah, well, I'll do that when the demo drops. This just looks like a trap, right? You open the box and just something spawns behind you. Oh wow, look at that. Holy shit. Maybe in harder difficulties, you're gonna have like a ghost fish or some shit popping up. You know what? In Master Ninja, what I hope, if you open that box, that giant hammer guy spawns. So he just like completely blocks the exit. You just have to kill him. That would be cool. And like it's optional challenge, right? Just don't open the box. It's not like, forcing you to do something. I do wonder, do you get a full health when you talk to Karen? Hmm. Yeah, I will not be using items on my first playthrough. I die, I die. I'll try again. Matter of fact, I will never be using items because now there's a penalty for using items. I was already against using them in the older games. I don't like using them in 2 at all. I hate using them in 2, but like Master Ninja and some of the bosses, you just have to. It's just too frustrating restarting because like one thing went wrong, so you die for it. I hope that's minimized in this game. You shouldn't die because you made one mistake or when the boss just decided to, not work properly. Those just feel cheap. Do grapple, wall run into swing, assassination. Failed assassination. He's gonna drop, doesn't kill. The guy's still alive. Oh yeah, that dot by the way that appears on enemy is the identification for a soft lock on. I don't think there's a hard lock on in the game. I kind of do hope there is. But yeah, now you have a visual representation of what Yakumo and Ryu are locked onto with their soft lock on. So if you want to go to fly and swallow something and you see icon on the wrong enemy, you might not want to initiate it. Which is good, something I wish 3 and 2 had a lot. Having the lock on doesn't make the game DMs. Putting that out there. Anyways, D limbs happen pretty quick. Like he hit him twice and he was fully. I know it's a long range enemy. Still. And I think this is the end of it after he fights the boss, which we're gonna see how a average person deals with a boss. By the way, if you consider average person an insult, I don't know what to tell you because there is also below average, and I think you should take that as an insult. Average just means you're normal. You're the expected tier. Another two. Ah, really? They give you double vendors back to back. There has to be some secret back there that he didn't explore. There has to be something he missed. Why would the game give you double vendors when there's nothing happening and there's another one coming up less than 3 minutes apart? There has to be a challenge there that he didn't tackle. I'm convinced to spend all that money on items. You filthy fucking not kidding. I'm sure everybody's gonna be spamming items on Master. I won't. I'll take my bill. I'll take my L like a man. I'm not taking that penalty, bro. I'm taking my bonus. Because if you use items, you lose the bonus. I'm not using that bonus, man. But yeah, boss fight. Your DDO commander, your first semi-humanoid height person. Very good choice to make your first boss a humanoid fight because they're usually the best ones and most memorable ones in hack and slashes when you have a humanoid fight. So Baldur and Bayonetta, Virgil and Devil May Cry, uh, Ares and Zeus in God of War, even Perseus, I would say in God of War too. Like yeah, humanoid bosses are incredibly satisfying to fight. I would even go as far as even in Soul games, your Crow of Canehurst, your Garnums, your Lady Marias, your Sister Frey, Melania. That's like all those fights are the most memorable ones. The owl in Sekiro, it's like Ishin himself. It's like those fights are the most memorable. So having a humanoid, someone on your level, someone with your capabilities, is always so much fun to fight. Because when you beat them, it makes you feel like I outperformed that person, or in this case, that enemy. And he's pretty straightforward. The directors actually in the article thing, the directors made a note too to say like, yes, he's an honorable samurai, so that's why he's very straightforward in his fighting style. He blocks you, he sheathes, gives you a heads up on when he's gonna do an attack, and he does set attacks. So you have enough time to react to all this nonsense. And if you're fast enough, you can actually break his guard and all that. I saw I don't know what article it was, but someone complained that the bosses instantly attack you. I'm like, ooh, that definitely sounds like the product of someone that's been playing Souls games. Bosses in that game take forever to swing at you. It throws your timing off if you're a hack and slash player. But yeah, first boss, as to be expected, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Your average joke was able to take care of it. I'm pretty sure he didn't use the item. I'm not sure about that though, but yeah. That's the end of it, I'm pretty sure. That's the end of the demo. Uh, I will not make any promises as to the fact that I might not be able to no damage this game on first playthrough. I'll try, of course. But because I'm in explorative mode, I don't really care about getting hits all the time. If I get hit, I usually get hit. I'm just trying to explore and get everything. Boom. That's the generator destroy, and yeah, the game just cuts it off. No cutscene, nothing. It just ends. And yeah, you see the item thing? If you spam items, it just progressively takes more and more multipliers off of you. So this starts at 120, or sorry, 1.20 multiplier on your score. And he's at 85 now. Every time you use an item, that shit just keeps getting lower and lower. Muertes means dying. He didn't die, so he doesn't get a penalty for it. Which sucks, because the one thing Ninja Gaiden was, good for was that dying doesn't matter. You can just retry. There's no downside to it. This is kills. So apparently getting even 93% of the kills is good enough to get the full bonus. Technique, which is just your combo points. That's the things you can do there, and this is time. And yeah, time is he took 31 minutes on this, a half an hour, right? And yeah, the score he got was less than half. He got 40% of the score that he could have got. So I don't know what the speedrun track for this stage is, but yeah. And calculating all that, he still gets a B. He still gets a B being all this. Right? So on normal mode, they don't want to make you feel bad. Like you still passed. Not with shining grades, but you still passed. So that's the end of that video. This is gonna be the end of the discussion too. Again, as always, do go on the channel itself, Whole Mono, I think. Um, Comment, like, do all that. So show your support to this guy because he's the only one that has this unique footage. And because it didn't get taken down, I've assumed that there will be no problem for me to post it. So, with that said, I'm just gonna go back here just to have the cool starting screen. With that said, I will make another video talking about the DLC weapons later. I'm gonna put a spoiler warning on this one for sure. But for the weapons one, it's mostly gonna be addressing stuff. So if you don't care about that nonsense, just skip it. Don't even watch it. I don't care. Whatever. Just stay in your hype. Don't stay ignorant, but stay in your hype. Um, with like I know the DLC weapons. I said I don't have a problem with it, but I don't like it. I do not like it. Do not mistake that. But anyways, that being said, different discussion. I'm just gonna cut it off right now. You guys have a good time. If you notice anything I missed, obviously as always, point it out to me in the comments after you watch the video because I had a lot of comments telling me about the stuff that was popping up later in the video. So yeah, that. Yeah. With that, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys soon.